Okay, this video is on finding area, and if you watch the video on perimeter, it's the same thing here. I'm making this on my tablet, so it's a little bit, the handwriting's not going to look so great on here. The first thing we want to start with is the definition of area, which is the space inside a two-dimensional shape, such as a square, rectangle, or other polygon. We're going to mostly use rectangles in here as our example. And the important thing to remember is we're talking about space when we're talking about area. So don't think about the same way as perimeter, which is basically finding a straight line distance. So space means all the space inside of a shape. So we can't measure it the same way that we measure a side. We measure a side, we can measure it in centimeters, inches, or whatever. When we're measuring the area, we have to think about it a little bit differently. And the way that we think about measuring area is in square units. So for example, in this shape here, which is 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters, we're thinking about how many centimeter cubes you can actually fit inside there, or square centimeters. So for example, let's think about this here as being 1 square centimeter. Get rid of that line there. Okay, so if this is a cube that is 1 by 1 centimeter, we want to know how many of those square centimeters we can fit inside. So if it is 4 by 2, you can probably figure that out on your own. We can actually fit 8 square centimeters inside. And let's go ahead and do that. And there we go. We fit 8 square centimeters in here. 4 by 2. 2 rows of 4, or 4 columns of 2. So we show that as 8 centimeters squared, or we say it as 8 square centimeters. Okay, so in this shape here, it is 3 inches by 9 inches. And so if we were to draw squares in here, this is not going to look that great here, but I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'd have to be squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 by 3, and there would be 27 square inches. So the area of this is 3 inches times 9 inches, and I really apologize for how bad that looks. Let me try it a little slower. 3 inches by 9 inches, or 27 square inches. Okay, it is really important to remember that it's square inches, because you're not thinking of how long it is, but how many squares you can fit inside of it. Okay, and that leads us to the formula for area, which is basically saying it's the length times the width. Now that might look like the perimeter formula that we did, which is 2 times the length times plus 2 times the width. But remember, perimeter was measuring the distance around, so it would be 8 plus 10 plus 8 plus 10. When we're figuring out area, we're just figuring out how many square, whatever unit it is, we could fit inside of it. So we really only need the length and the width once. If they're shown on there more than once, we don't need them. It's just 8 by 10. And so this would be inside here, 80 square inches. Okay, so remember, area is going to be in square inches, so you need to be thinking of what's inside, not what's around, and that's why you're multiplying. The last thing we want to look at here is, oh, sorry, again, just like with the perimeter one, sometimes we will show you problems where you don't even see the shape. We're just going to give you the length and the width, and you have to figure out the area. So again, here you would do 4 is the length times 8 is the width, and that's going to give us 32. And again, since this was meters and meters, your answer is 32 square meters, because we could fit inside that shape 32 squares that are 1 meter by 1 meter. And now finally, we get to finding a missing side. So in this case, we're telling you that the area, this whole space inside here, would be 48 square inches, meaning that we could fit 48 square inch cubes in there. We know that the length is 4, so we need to figure out the width. So what are we multiplying 4 by to get 48? So we could do 48 divided by 4 is equal to 12. So the missing side is 12. And again, that's inches. That's how long it is. It's 12 inches long. And that's how you find the missing side if you're given the area.